Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update. It's 10 o'clock on August 12th, 2024, and I hope you guys got a chance to look at the sunset tonight because it was pretty spectacular. We had a couple of showers around, and as the sun was setting, there was a shower actually that was passing through. This is at Massapequa Preserve, and that's why I'm kind of starting the video off looking at this because it was pretty darn spectacular. Here's another shot of the sun behind this shower. There was no lightning with it or anything, but very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Even had a little rainbow. We had almost like a reddish rainbow here as the sun was going down. Very, very beautiful. Yeah, very nice. But the day was actually pretty nice before the clouds rolled in. Did actually get to see some pines today for a little bit before the clouds kind of came in, and then kind of things started clouding up a little bit. I was actually at Captree, so we're going to have to do a video at Captree because I found pine barrens there. And then the clouds kind of came in. You could sort of see them on the horizon here in the bay. And then I was at Massapequa Lake twice, actually, looking at some of these passing showers. No thunderstorms. I was kind of hoping there would be. Oh, and this is what it looked like before that shower tonight. Look at that. Beautiful. So I had to show you those pictures. And yes, there was, in addition to all of this, apparently there was an aurora borealis last night while I was asleep. So I missed that, unfortunately. You could see the showers that popped up over our area today. And again, we had some showers and maybe some thunderstorms, perhaps. It's all kind of quieted down now. Looking at the radar, there's not really a whole lot going on. But earlier on, we did have some showers. And we can look at the radar rewind. I guess we'll rewind the radar to show you what we had. So we had some showers popping up around 2, 3 coming out of the Hudson Valley. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that was actually a heavy downpour. Actually, it looked like it went over central Nassau and then into like the Deer Park area, Suffolk County. And then later on, we had more develop around 7 o'clock. You can see these developed, and these also. This one was actually kind of heavy. It looks like it went over Rockville Center in Freeport. And we got a little bit of it while I was at Massapequa, but it made for an absolutely amazing sunset, I have to say. So I didn't see the aurora, but at least we got the sunset because we do have, we can go to the Space Weather Prediction Center now, SPWC, and let's see what we got going on right now. So we actually managed to get up to a G4 today, but right now nothing really going on. So we'll have to see if we can see some more auroras tonight, though. Right now, last night there were some, and they were visible. Actually, they were visible on Long Island too, as well. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's get to the current weather we have right now outside. After those showers, let's take a look and see what we've got going on. And when those showers move through, the winds started off from the southwest. Now they're coming down from the north. It's 70 at Farmingdale, 68 at Islip. Let's see if we can look at the day at Islip. You'll see it actually got up to 81. And we started off with a southwest wind today for much of the day. It was like a west wind, and then it became southwest. The dew points weren't all that low, and then the winds became southwest out of the showers. Dew points actually went into the mid-60s. And right now they're still at 63 after hitting the low 80s. Right now it's 68, 70 at Farmingdale with a dew point of 57 and a north-northwest wind, so a little dry. Believe it or not, the alley is actually 70 degrees, so the alley is not that much hotter than some of these other stations, believe it or not. Very interesting. West Hampton has dropped to 64, dew point 63, north-northwest wind at 5 miles an hour, gusting to 16, so they have a north-northwest wind now. So most stations have shifted over the north-northwest wind. This was in response to a disturbance that we had, so if we go to the Weather Prediction Center map, you'll see a little bit of a trough there, line move through. Not really a cold front per se, but a trough line, and that's what we'll get to that smoke later. We've got to talk about that. So looking at the satellite again, you can see that. There's the smoke, by the way. You can see the smoke there in eastern Canada. And that's going to be coming down either later tomorrow or perhaps Wednesday. I'm hoping at least we have a clear day tomorrow before the stuff starts rolling in on us. We'll have to see. So let's look at our highs across the area, and we'll have to look at rainfall as well. Highs generally low 80s. Of course, a little warmer in Jersey where it was mid 80s. And lows, yeah, it got down to 54 in West Hampton this morning, 61 at Islip, 55 at Miller Air Park. Of course, it did not get that cool in the alley. I had to keep the AC on, of course. That's the way it is here. Precipitation, let's take a look and see what we got here. As far as rainfall amounts, nothing huge. You see scattered amounts of rainfall, up to a quarter of an inch. Nothing more than that across the island right now. Though some areas looks like Mattatuck got 0.55, so maybe a heavier cell went over them. We can look at Wonder Map as well for rainfall amounts. Probably really wasn't very much of anything, though. I mean, the showers were very brief, but there were some showers out there. Let's see. So some areas got, yeah, it's not a whole lot, but there was some showers, and you go to the next town and the ground is dry. It's very, very hit or miss. Very, very hit or miss indeed. So let's go to our almanac for the day. Islip at a high of 80 and a low of 61, so 3 degrees below normal for the day. For precipitation, Central Park got up to 81 and a low of 66, also 3 degrees below normal. So we're running a little bit below normal for a change, which is pleasant. So let's take a wider look at this satellite image now. And we'll start with the, yeah, I'm going to have to go a little bit more on this, like 60 frames. So 60 loops, I don't know, 60 frames, I'm not sure. Or it's not a 60-hour loop, it's a 60-frame loop. But you can see here the satellite here showing the smoke. There's also smoke, a lot of smoke coming off. Looks like California as well. So it's only a matter of time before our nice blue skies that we had today start getting hazy as we have some of that smoke around. Let's look at the Canada, northern U.S. view. And there's a whole lot of smoke up here. Oh, boy. So, yeah, you can see here all this smoke. There's a lot of it. And that's all going to, you can see it's starting to slowly sink down. Yep. So what's going to happen here, draw this out, is that this smoke, oh, boy, we've got a whole bunch of fires that just got going in the Saskatchewan now. So, oh, boy, this just continues, folks. A whole bunch of fires. Just look at that. Wow, that just like took off like that. Let's go to the southeastern Alaska one because that kind of shows. Look at what's going on over here. So this is nuts. See, these fires are really absolutely going nuts. Look at this. It looks like there's a frontier of some sort, and southwesterly flows being pushed up ahead of this front. And then behind the front, it looks like you have two fires. So the winds are just picking up. This front's probably not bringing a whole lot of rain. And then also, British Columbia also, we got numerous large wildfires over there. I wish we could get closer into the Saskatchewan area, but unfortunately we cannot. That's as close as the loop is going to get us, unfortunately. If I could find a better loop, I would like to find one, but unfortunately that's what we have right now. But you can see the Northwest Territory is really dealing with a lot of smoke. All right, let's go to the Pacific Northwest as well. This is something I'm going to talk about every night, folks, because nobody else wants to talk about it. And you can see, again, if we pause it right there, let me go back a frame or two. Look at all these fires going on in Idaho. We got some in Northern California, Oregon, Washington. Idaho is really going pretty, that's a pretty bad fire right there for sure. But really, a very impressive action right now seems to be over Saskatchewan. So, unfortunately, the Northern Rockies one doesn't do it. I don't think that we've tried that one before. I don't think it works. That's not far north enough. No, it is definitely not. So we have to go and, again, use that Canada, northern U.S. loop. I really wish they would have more on here. But what we can do, I could take this back a little bit. See, it's 24. Can we do 24, loop 24? All right. Just take a look at the smoke. All right, so can we zoom in? No, we cannot. Okay, so you can see what's going on here. I really wish we could zoom in. Unfortunately, we would have to go in here, and I have to just do it this way. Actually, it's not even letting me make the picture larger. Unbelievable. So, yeah, I don't know why they don't have a floater over here. This is really bad. You can see right here. Really bad. There's a lot of smoke coming from this area here. You know that we're going to get into that. You can see that where it's going right there. So we got the MODIS satellite too, which we can look at as well, showing us all the fires. And you can see all the Northwest Territories, Saskatchewan. Here you go. A lot of fires in Saskatchewan right now. So it's only a matter of time before that smoke really makes its way down into our area, because if we look at the general pattern, we can kind of see the wind flow here. I'm going to change that color. I'm going to change this color to like red. All right. It's going to be coming down into our area. So I really think we're going to be dealing with it eventually. Nobody else wants to talk about it, obviously. So the other big weather story is Ernesto. So Ernesto has formed. Tropical storm Ernesto already has formed. Just formed. The maximum sustained winds are 40 miles an hour. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow night. But we'll show you the cone again. And they don't have it becoming a major hurricane. I wouldn't be so sure on that, but it looks like it's heading for Bermuda at this point for us. And we're going to talk more about Ernesto in the days to come. But it is just formed, so I'm not really going to spend too much time on it right now. Let's take a look at some observations across Canada. And you can see, lots of red flag warnings in effect for Idaho. That's not a good situation at all. Some of these sites are probably reporting smoke, I'm sure. Some of them are reporting some smoke, I'm sure. But up in these areas here in Canada, they're really getting hammered. So if we look at Prince Albert, all right, they're not reporting any smoke, which is kind of odd. LaGrange, still not reporting any smoke, which is I think it's further north here. We go 9-mile visibility, Key Lake, but these areas are going to be dealing with smoke for sure. Pretty warm up there too, 81 degrees. We're still seeing some of that heat up there. The Northwest Territories has cooled down to some extent, but they're still above normal. And if we get some observations here, probably still seeing some smoke around. So let's see. Hay River, 1-mile visibility and smoke. So really very, very poor air quality over there. And as you go even up north, even some of these sites might be reporting smoke too. No, Cambridge Bay not reporting any smoke. I'm kind of surprised. They did have some smoke earlier, though. They had some smoke a few days ago, but not. I guess the wind is blowing from a different direction. Let's see. We're going to see. That smoke is going to make its way further east, for sure. And let's see if it can make its way even up to some of these areas where it's cold. But there's probably enough surface cold air that would keep the smoke away, but who knows? At this point, I think the smoke's going to definitely make its way. All right, there's fog being reported over there. But we're going to watch this smoke as it makes its way. Yeah, there's smoke being reported over here, so the smoke's definitely making its way into the western shores of Hudson Bay. Look at this, 3-mile visibility at Churchill. And they got up to 88 today, by the way. So still got kind of hot over there, and very, very low visibility. This is what's heading our way, folks. You can see here, still pretty warm up here. This is what's heading our way. Being that we're talking about the smoke, I'm going to go to the smoke models first. Fortunately, they've fixed the smoke models issues. The latest run that we have is only on this model's only 22Z. Here's a 21Z. Okay, so here's a long. We'll first start with the vertically integrated smoke, and then we will work our way into the other models. And again, not enough people talking about this. This is going to be a factor in our weather for sure. So here we go into tomorrow, starting the day off. It looks like we're starting off okay, but then you start seeing that smoke starting to build into our area, and that you can see is slowly working toward us. And I think as we get toward Thursday, I think we're going to start dealing with it for sure. You can see, again, that's slowly working toward us, this area here. And that's some ground level smoke, too, that I'm sure that we're going to also see. So this is the RAP. This is the one that shows Canada. We can do the near surface smoke as well. And you can see just lots and lots of smoke there. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's bringing some near surface smoke in too. So, yeah, I think as we get toward later in the week, we're going to start dealing with this smoke for sure. Look at that. It looks like it's coming right for us. So we are going to be dealing with it. We can also look at the HRRR as well. So let's see what we got here. 0Z run of the HRRR, which usually is a longer run. But for whatever reason, we only have out as far as tomorrow. Let's see, maybe 20. Let's see. It says 18Z forecasts go out to 48 hours. So let's see. All right, so we'll have to use the 18Z because I really want to show you the 48-hour one. So this is the HRRR. And you'll see why we're going to be getting the smoke when I go over the surface. But let's add the weather, the models here. But you can see, yeah, that smoke's definitely coming our way. Here we are tomorrow, and then as we get into Thursday, yep, there it is. We're going to definitely be dealing with it for sure. And it's going to be pretty thick, too. So we may get those orange skies that we had last year. I think we have a good chance of that, actually. Considering there's 3-mile visibility at Churchill, which is over here. That's coming our way. So let's go now to the models, and we'll talk about what we have setting up this week. So high pressure builds in. We're going to, again, stay in a pretty northwest flow here. Flow out of Canada, northwest low. Here's Ernesto, by the way. And you can see what happens. So as we get toward the weekend, we'll have some more humidity, shower chances. But Ernesto looks like it stays away from us, but it could wind up hitting Nova Scotia again. This is becoming a hot spot for hurricanes now because we have the warmer waters. But again, I'm going to talk about that more later in the week. I have to take one thing at a time. Right now I'm watching the smoke situation because that is going to get a lot worse. But we have that northwest flow. So if I show you the 500 here, you see where the isobars are. You see how they're pointed, all right? So that's going to bring the smoke in toward us. Now, the only thing we've got to be careful with, obviously, is could Ernesto track further west? Is it going to hit? This is something that we're going to have to watch, all right? Right now, the track looks like it's staying out to sea. And we'll see as time goes by what happens. But, again, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Ernesto. So let's go closer to our area, and let's go to the HRRR here, and we'll go over our model, our 0Z HRRR model. So you can see nothing really happens tomorrow. It may break out a couple of showers inland, but a couple of sprinkles, a little instability, and then Wednesday, it does it again, oddly enough. So it's got a little instability around, which is very interesting. I'm sure that smoke is going to help add to some condensation nuclei. Let's look at our dew points. So it does drop the dew points with a northerly wind tomorrow into the 50s, and then the winds again back to the southwest later in the afternoon. Again, no surprise there. And then Wednesday, start off with the north wind, and then the same thing happens where we get kind of a southwesterly wind there developing. All right. Temperatures, so it is showing that there would be a sea breeze, though some models are saying there won't be, but anyway, tonight, it's going to be a cool one. Pine Barrens areas will probably see 50s again, low 60s for everyone else, except for the urbanized areas and my alley. Tomorrow, it's showing temperatures maybe a little bit cooler than today, maybe upper 70s to around 80. We'll see. We did manage to get to the low 80s today, so we'll see what happens. And then tomorrow night, it will again drop off into the low 60s probably, and then Wednesday gets a little warmer. We're going to start to see some low to mid 80s across our area. So I'm going to go and look at the some soundings for tomorrow. So we'll first start off at 15Z and see what we've got as far as what our atmosphere looks like as far as clouds go. And it looks like the lines are pretty far apart, which is good for clear skies. But I think as we get toward the afternoon, we're going to see some clouds start to build here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. It's showing some cloudy. Yeah, it's showing these lines getting a little closer together. So we may see some cloudiness, but it's not really showing a whole lot. But we may have to worry about some haze coming in from the wildfire smoke. That would be more of an issue, I think, at this point. Let me go over the GFS so we can look at the rest of the week here as far as our dew points and wind flow, and you'll see what happens here. So similar deal. It's showing low. It's showing drier air again. I don't know. The dew points were Not as low as the models said they were going to be today. They said they were going to be in the 50s. So I'm kind of skeptical if we're going to see any dew points in the 50s. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow we get it done. Wednesday, you can see us have that northeast wind, then it becomes south. And then Thursday, northeast wind becoming southeast. And then Friday, we start seeing more of a southerly flow, but you still don't see the humidity getting that higher until we get toward the weekend, and that's when we get into that southerly flow. And that's when the next shower chances come along. Temperatures on the GFS. Yeah, definitely running warmer than the HRRR. So GFS stops saying mid to upper 80s on Wednesday. Not cooling off as much as Wednesday night, and then Thursday you're going to see the temperatures rise. And we'll be dealing with more of that smoke, too, as well. So let's go to the skies and take a look at the GFS. GFS has a mostly sunny day for tomorrow. Maybe some clouds later in the late in the afternoon. And then for Wednesday, start off with clouds, and then we have some clearer skies later on. And then Thursday, it shows some cloudiness, but again, not really that much cloudiness here. It's not until we get to it Friday and the weekend, increasing clouds, and then the weekend we're going to have to worry about more clouds and shower chances, unfortunately, just in time for the weekend. Our gem is the last one we're going to look at today, and you'll see here that for tomorrow, you see there is going to be some pop-up stratocumulus probably, especially as you get toward the afternoon. It's showing more of it over New Jersey than Long Island. And then for Wednesday, it's showing a little bit of cirrus, perhaps, and maybe a little more pop-up stratocumulus, but I think Wednesday will be hazier, and especially Thursday, even more hazy as we start dealing with that smoke. It's gonna get definitely gonna smell it as we get toward later in the week. Of course, if we do click the Weather Service's forecast, I'm feeling they don't bring it up at all. Let's see if they do. No, they don't. Of course not. Of course not. Kind of curious if anyone brings it up. Let's see if we go maybe to Maine, they'll bring it up. I'm kind of curious if any of these weather services bring it up. Nope. But well, I'll be watching it though, because this is kind of impossible to ignore when you see a satellite image like this and you see all this smoke covering almost the entire country of Canada. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. Have a good night.